Hi, I'm Leanne Rohr with Coshocton County Drug-Free Coalition.
And I'm Robin Oates with Hardin County Community Coalition to Prevent Youth Substance Abuse.
And we're going to discuss with you the process you can use to help your county engage in activities to support National Problem Gambling Awareness Month.
The history and scope of National Gambling Awareness Month. Sorry, I screwed that up. I'm waiting for the slide to move.
Did it not move on your end?
It's not.
That's weird. It's moving on my end.
It's not moving on mine.
Hi, I'm Leanne Rohr with Coshocton County Drug-Free Coalition.
And I'm Robin Oates with Hardin County Community Coalition to Prevent Youth Substance Abuse.
And we're here to discuss the process you can use to help your county engage in activities that support National Problem Gambling Awareness Month.
The history and scope of National Gambling Awareness Month. This initiative started in 2002 when the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association, SAMHSA, designated the month of March as Problem Gambling Awareness Month. The month of March was designated because many Americans follow the NCAA Division I basketball tournament. Although this event is exciting for many people, it's also a popular occasion for gambling. Problem gambling is similar to substance abuse in many ways, according to the National Council on Problem Gambling.
This next slide is an example that you can use of a worksheet to engage community partners in the work that you're doing. This work should be used with your county coalition. You'll discuss with your coalition what areas or sectors you should engage to help with the planning and implementation of the project. Once you have the area or sector identified, fill in the worksheet with the names of the proposed community members, who represents that area or sector, and what role they'll play in the planning and implementation of your campaign to raise awareness about problem gambling. The worksheet should be completed during a coalition meeting or during a meeting of the appropriate coalition committee.
Let's talk about target audiences. Determine who your priority population and what do you do to impact with your activities. How do you do this? Look for local data if available to see what the data says is going on locally. Look for state and national data to compare with your local data. Where do you find the data? Contact your local schools to see what data collection has been done on this topic. Contact the National Council on Problem Gambling. Look for local treatment facilities who may be able to provide this data. Contact your local Mental Health Recovery Services Board. What do you do with this data? Present the data to the data committee or your full coalition to determine what population to target based on what the data shows as the area of greatest need.
Now we're going to talk about the project plan and timeline. This is an example of a project plan and timeline that you can use as you work toward implementing Problem Gambling Awareness Month activities in your county. The timeline here lists some suggested activities, but your county may want to look at other options, such as a video essay contest, a written essay contest, holding community meetings, or maybe even a 5K awareness walk or run. The options are open. However, it is important that you work with your county coalition to figure out what they feel will work best for your county and what you are able to implement, giving the resources such as money, donations, and volunteers that you have available to you. Once you determine the activities you want to implement, you will need to think about what steps need to happen in order to successfully implement the activities that you have chosen. This is where the project plan piece comes into play. The project plan should reflect all the steps it takes to get the activity ready to implement by your selected date. It should be detailed enough that anyone can pick it up and know who is doing what and when it needs to be completed. If you are implementing multiple activities, you may want to have a separate project plan for each activity you are planning. You may also want to add a title to the top of the project plan that states the activity that the project plan is for, such as if you're planning an art contest, the title would be Problem Gambling Awareness Art Contest. The plan and activities would be all the steps that it takes to implement the activity and who is responsible and when it needs to be completed. Remember, this is a group effort, and you should work with your coalition to determine the steps that need to happen, the responsible person, and the timeline to ensure that you are on track to reach your goals.
Let's talk about sharing a strong message. Make sure that you utilize first-person language. Promote healthy lifestyle messaging. Allow the reader to think about what a healthy lifestyle looks like. Practice what you want them to do. Use pictures that encourage positive images. If you are sharing data, share it in a positive manner. Instead of saying 13% of people who gamble are at risk of having a gambling addiction, say 87% of people do not gamble or make responsible choices when gambling. Utilize caution when using copyright material such as brands, picture, and music. And please, do not use imagery showing the following: dice or other items used to gamble, or miserable people.
Some things that you can do that are low cost or no cost in your community to raise awareness about problem gambling are: you could write a mayoral proclamation identifying March as Problem Gambling Awareness Month, and you could contact your local newspaper to cover the signing. You could have area businesses decorate their storefront with information about problem gambling. You could organize a town hall meeting to discuss the issue, utilizing donated or free space. You could write an opinion or educational piece listing national and local resources and submit this to the local paper. You could hold an art contest by coordinating with local schools around the theme of what is problem gambling. You could solicit area businesses to donate prizes such as movie rentals or pizzas. You could distribute posters showing responsible gambling, or host a Facebook live chat about responsible gambling, what that means, where to go for help, and what resources are available locally.
Let's talk about the evaluation process. What were your successes? What could be better? What do we need to change? What worked? What didn't work? And how many participated? Are all questions that you can ask yourself after the project is completed. You want to make sure that the evaluation of the awareness activities that you have completed are reviewed so that you can see the effectiveness of the campaign. This is an example of what an evaluation could look like.
So we also need to talk about budgeting. This is an example of a budget template. This template would be used to determine the cost to your coalition or county for implementing the chosen activities. When working on a budget, you'll need to think about a few things, such as the cost of the resource. Is it going to be paid from coalition funds? Is it going to be donated, or will it be in-kind service? You'll need to think about what it's going to take to implement the activities your county has chosen to pursue. Things to think about are: how much paid staff time is it going to take? How much volunteer time is it going to take? You will need the hours in order to calculate the cost for both payroll for staff and the cost for volunteer time. When calculating payroll, take the number of hours multiplied by the paid staff times wages plus benefits. For determining volunteer time cost, you can multiply the hours by the in-cost rate of $24.14 as calculated by independentsector.org. If you're planning on paying people for driving to or from the event or for activities needed to complete the activity, you will need to calculate mileage based on either your state rate or your agency rate. For supplies, list all the supplies it's going to take to implement the activity you have chosen and multiply that rate out to get the total cost.
Let's talk about some action. Discuss with your coalition what you would like to see as a result of using the approach you've chosen. Encourage audiences to tell you what they will do in 1 week with the information, 1 month with the information, and then 6 months to a year. Discuss how you can utilize this connection with audiences to encourage volunteers and individuals to join your coalition.
This is a list of both national and state resources that you can use as you move towards implementing problem gambling activity awareness in your community.
Thank you for joining us on this webinar. It is our intent that you find the template useful as you work to engage your community and raise the awareness about the issue of problem gambling. Have fun and enjoy the process as you engage your community in this effort.